Hey folks, Keric here and welcome back to the second part of this Primal walkthrough. A little bit of a cutscene here, so I'm going to keep quiet while you watch.
Where are we now?
We have entered the kingdom of Solum. Time stands still in the four realms connected to the Nexus. In this realm, it is eternal night.
And let me guess. Eternal winter?
By nature, Solum is bleak of climate, but nothing too harsh for its people. The Feri are strong and resourceful hunters.
You say hunters?
The worlds of Oblivion are each inhabited by a different race, and yes, the Feri are fierce, sometimes brutal, but they are fundamentally good. You're going to meet a lot worse, I assure you.
Splendid.
Solum and its people have always been aligned with order, providing my Lady Arella with power.
But now things have gotten screwed up, right?
Yes, thanks to Abaddon's villainy. His interference in the realms is drawing all the primal energy to his side and starving my lady of her very existence. In truth, neither side can survive without the other, and soon everything will be destroyed.
So the guy's trashing the status quo, creating chaos. Guess he's doing his job.
And we must do ours, so just listen.
Oops.
I'm sorry. You must forgive me for that, Jen. So much more will become clear to you, child, but we've so little time.
Hey, look, don't sweat it. I'm fine. So what's to be done here? Let's get on with it.
Thank you, Jen. Right, now, what we've got to do here, Jen, is, I haven't the faintest idea. But I do know Solum has been tainted by chaos somehow, and we have to restore the natural order. I told you the Feri are violent, but they live as a basically peaceful clan with rituals and art, for example, a structured society. The one crucial thing for the race is their king. In Solum, the king has huge authority, awesome strength, but he must, without fail, sacrifice himself at the height of his power and pass the throne to his heir.
Gruesome.
Ah, yes, the burning crown, the traditional method of royal sacrifice. Failure of the king to abdicate his power would devastate the land and lead its people to ruin.
Ruin as in...
Precisely. The king here is Hearn, strong, deadly even, but always a good leader for his people, I believe. A Feri king like any other through eternity, but some time ago he was due to relinquish power.
And he's running for another term.
He is senselessly refusing to give up his rule, and so leading the Feri to disaster.
So we check it out. Cool.
Yes. A sound plan of action.
So yeah, something is very, very wrong in Solum, and we're about to find out what.
Lead the way whenever you like.
Worth mentioning at this point that Scree is probably one of my favourite sidekicks in the entire history of gaming, purely because they haven't made him into an absolute twat. Most of the times your sidekick in the game is something to be laughed at or ridiculed and kind of there to be annoying more than anything else. And another cutscene right in the middle of that.
You hear those growls, Scree?
That sounds like Malkai. They're primitive, territorial beasts. Huge teeth, fearsome claws, fond of the dark.
Well, that's it. We ain't moving. Oh, no.
I suspect they'd only be interested in devouring you.
Oh, great.
I doubt they'd find me too palatable.
Sure. You don't look particularly tasty.
Malkai are afraid of fire. I'll scout ahead, see if I can find anything.
I'll stay here until you get back.
So yeah, I mean, I think the voice kind of does it a lot more than anything else. Andreas Katsulas kind of gave it a voice that had a certain amount of dignity behind it, a certain amount of intelligence as well. So Scree does come across a lot more refined, shall we say, than most. So anyway, basically make our way through the cave. Once out the other side, we're looking for something that we can light the way with, so make our way into what's usually described as a fire cave. of an obvious name, really. And just pick up
This should keep those Malkai at bay.
the torch, smash a few things while we're here, just in case. Pretty sure there's nothing in them, but always worth a look. And then we can make our way back through the Malkai cave and clear the way for Jen. So yeah, I think the kind of dignity that Scree does have it works later on in the game as well whenever there's emotional kind of things happening. I don't want to spoil too much, but it does make you feel a little bit more for him as a character rather than just some joke that tags along. Really, all you've got to do in here is to light the brazier behind me. More fun chasing them off first, though.
I think that's it.
Go on, sod off. And that clears the way for Jen to walk through.
I've illuminated the cave, Jen. It should be safe for you to enter.
Small point. Typical picky me. Should be safe or is safe?
It is safe.
Well done, big guy.
While on the subject of the cast, I think it's also worth mentioning how good Jen is.
If you need information, just ask me and I'll do my best to help.
She kind of fills that role of not being too serious, but not being stupid about it either. I think the interaction between the two characters actually works really well, which is one of the great things about the game.
You can look at my maps whenever you like. They're updated as we progress.
Oh, thank you, Shorty. And really, we should be going off to the right, but the reason we can't progress is because the bridge is out.
The bridge is broken. Better find another way across.
I always find it's worth doing these little story things, just in case it stops something happening later in the game.
You know, being small and made from stone has some advantages.
That's what
It
she
does.
said.
Absolutely. I can climb up any stonework surface. Now that's something that might be useful to us, don't you think?
I guess.
You may also notice a couple of little skips while the video's running. It'll be a little bit of a section where I've cut out some of the footage purely on the basis that every time it saves, it seems to take forever. I'm not sure whether it's because I'm running through the capture card or whether the equipment I'm running it on, the old PS2, is 10, 15 years old now. So if you do see a little frame skip here and there, it's just because I've cut out the save whenever I've gone to do a save file, because it does take a little bit of time. Oh shit, there goes the torch.
Damn that wind.
Uh-oh.
Don't panic. They can smell fear, you know.
You're not on the menu here. I'll smell how I want.
Uh-oh. One big guy.
Shit.
It's Hearn. Don't worry. I can speak the demon tongue. Deus Safinta, Dwend Mgen, Eb ota jimen diarella. Eb hivan keferai. Ekta sunsetem rekba.
This runt would have me believe you're an envoy of the goddess Arella. You look more like a sniveling half-breed to me.
Scree, I vote we're big enough to swallow the odd insult here.
Strangers, in these treacherous times. Should I drive you from my kingdom, or leave you to the Maokai?
Trust me, Lord Hearn. We're here to help you.
Help me? I suppose you must know the whereabouts of my son, then?
Well, no.
Then you are of no use. It was a night like this when Jared went missing.
But listen, I do know what it's like to lose someone. My friend Lewis was taken from me. Couldn't we at least help you look for Jared?
You seem ill-equipped to be helping anyone. Take this, and you may just survive the night.
Thanks.
I have no more time for strangers. I must return to the Great Temple. Perhaps tonight my prayers will be answered.
I guess we know what he prays for.
The safe return of his son.
Come on, Scree, we can do it. Let's find this Jared.
Fine, fine, as you wish. I'll add him to the list.
Hey, why do you call me a half-breed?
Perhaps it's time for me to scout ahead again.
And that, of course, was Hearn, the leader of the Fair Eye. So first thing first, pick up this lodestone.
What you doing?
It's called a lodestone. They're important. You'll find out later.
You are one strange critter, Scree.
Basically, the number of lodestones you have allows you to do certain things later on in the game. So whenever you see one, it's always worth picking them up. You tend to find them out in the open, generally because they're quite important, so they're not too well hidden. You'll find the odd one hidden in those barrels and things as well. So just make our way through this cave, really. Not too much difficult so far in game. This whole first section of the game is really rather like a large tutorial. Until we get the first of Jen's forms, there's not very much goes on. The main problem now being that the bridge is down, so obviously Jen can't get across the river, even though we've just managed to get
I need to
under
find
it.
a way to get Jen over here.
I was just saying that, Shorty. Oh, wrong way. And make our way out the back.
That tree seems ready to fall at any moment.
There's an obvious hint if there ever was one. Give the tree a little bit of a push.
Should do the job as a makeshift bridge.
So that's how we get Jen across the river. And of course now she has a knife, there's obviously going to be a combat section happening. Let's make our way back towards Jen. There you go, little Maokai hiding just off screen on the left hand side there. Now where the hell's Jen? Oh, behind me? Fair enough. How'd she manage that? Oh well, anyway, better take care of these couple of Maokai. Combat pretty easy this early on in the game. The combat kind of gets a little bit more difficult later on, but for now with the knife it's pretty simple. Stab them until they're dead. And there we go, both of them down. We just need to make our way across the old tree. could walk a little faster, love.
So many earthquakes.
The land suffers as a result of Hearn's poor judgment. Several moons have passed since he failed to relinquish his throne.
He didn't fail, Scream. How can he let go when there's no heir to take over?
Of course. Of course. Finding Jared could be the key to restoring the balance in Solum.
Fascinating though that may be, we have one more thing to do before we carry on. That being to find the next tarot card. Sort of, which wall is it? This one? No. Obviously no, okay. We need to make our way up those broken steps, basically. I've just chosen the wrong wall. Typical. So just make your way up to the top. Through the doorway, and voila, there it is. This one being the Fool, and in game that relates to Jen. So there we go, tarot card got. Next thing is to progress a little bit. Instead of carrying on up to the gate, which is blocked anyway, just take a right here. And we can't actually get in through the door, it is locked, even though I haven't checked it. There is a way in round the side, but only Jen can fit through. Her being skinny and lithe and all those kind of things. Scree being none of those kind of things.
Good job, Jed.
And before we make our way down into the Fair Eye Burrows, there is also another tarot card here. If you aim for the wall between the crack and the door, there's a little bit of broken masonry just here that you can fit through. And carry on across to the right to be rewarded with your third tarot card. Which in this case obviously is Hearn, the King of Pentacles. Not just a case of crawling our way back down the wall. There's something about the way he crawls along walls and the way the camera goes that's vaguely off-putting. Anyway, that's us on collectibles for now, so let's make our way down into the depths. May as well pick up a torch while we're here. Squee's the only one that can pick those up in game, so take him as lead. Anytime you have a torch and you pass by any of the urns that you can set fire to, it's always worth doing. On the off chance that you have to come back through this section again, at least it'll be well lit. Pretty sure that's an extra door. Come on, camera. Yeah, it is. Just a quick look. Smash up a couple of old ancient antiquities. Like the urn. Not that it's important, but obviously, if you do have to come through here later on and you haven't got a torch, things get a little messy.
We should ask these tribesmen if they know anything about Jared's disappearance.
Shoot.
Beagni, Nedi vasus agat de keep gaxikot volvek Jared?
Ip anot pot kapkili. Urnon gianol hulidon vumila bab wat vern plumpad. Ubsa kernast Jared nukti.
Apparently Jared used to hunt here. Some time ago the locals heard a terrible fight raging. Nobody's seen him since.
And that's a pretty good point to wrap up the game before we make any more progress. I've been Keric the Pally, this has been Primal. You have a good evening now.